One of the Waupun prison employees arrested back in 2024 appears in court this afternoon after coming to a plea agreement. Brandon Fisher was one of 8 workers initially charged in connection with prisoner deaths. The warden at the time also charged. Prosecutors originally accused Fisher of abusing inmates. Court documents show that he will now plead this afternoon to a misdemeanor charge of violating state and county institution laws, which carries a maximum penalty of up to $500 and up to 30 days in jail. Former Warden Randall Hepp and several others charged also reached plea deals in their cases.